Hi guys, and welcome back to this edition of
Wood Wizards!
with me and little Millie. Now today we're going to do something a little bit different. It's actually Millie's request, and she said I want to do something with wood and toys. So after thinking for quite a long time what we're going to do, what are we going to do, Millie? Tell us.
We're gonna do a coat rack out of toys and wood.
A coat rack. That sounds a bit of fun. So to make a coat rack, what we did is we went out into the workshop and we found this piece of wood, didn't we?
Yes.
Which we've already had a little bit of a sand and tidy up.
Yeah, because you see the sandpaper on it.
Sandpaper and all the marks. So we've given it a nice sand up. And what we will do now is we're going to screw some toys to it which you can use as hooks. Now you can look for any kind of toys you want, but ideally not too big. Something that's hard, made of plastic, because a soft toy is not going to be any good. And you can have a theme, either cars or people, robots, anything you like.
Unicorns.
Unicorns. So Millie, I said to Millie, can you go and find some toys so you can screw them to the board? And what did you come up with, Millie? Would you like to show everybody?
Yes.
What have you?
We found a robot which can talk like this.
A robot.
Hello.
A talking robot. Okay, fantastic. So a talking robot.
A unicorn which you can see through it.
A unicorn.
And you're very blurry and blue.
I'm always blurry and blue.
And this is a toy which is not coloured
Is that from Ugly Dolls?
Yes, but it said
That's an Ugly Dolls toy. And what's
Bob.
Is that Bob or is that Kevin or?
It's Bob.
It's Bob.
Sticking
Bob.
his tongue.
Here's
tongue
Bob
out
going blowing a raspberry. So we're going to have a go at mounting these on this board somehow, aren't we?
Yeah.
Now before we mount it on this board, we've got to figure out where we're going to mount them. Because we don't just want to put them like this, do we? Because that looks a little bit... that looks a bit rough, doesn't it, guys? So we've got to figure out how to position them nicely.
Well, let me put that.
Okay.
There.
So we've got two ways we can do this. We can either, as Millie's done, just line them up and screw them down, or we can measure it and make sure they're absolutely perfect. What would you like to do?
Measure it.
Measure it. Okay, so let's get our... Have you got a tape measure?
Yes.
Okay, grab your tape measure.
It's 2 meters.
A 2 meter.
Remember, the bigger the tape measure, the longer the meter is.
That's actually quite true. Usually the bigger and chunkier a tape measure it is, they can get huge. Mr. Tom and I, we've got some that are up to 50 meters long.
Yeah, 50 meters long.
That's long, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really long.
And I always carry one in my pocket, which is usually at least 3 or 5 meters, but we don't need that for this one, do we?
No, we need a baby one.
A baby one. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the tape measure and a pencil. Millie, have you got a tape measure? A pencil, please?
We already got one.
You've got one from your toolbox? Yeah?
I mean, we've already got...
Right, now this is 50 centimeters long. So how are we going to do this? Maybe if we put one around... If you put one at 6, put a little mark here at 6.
Got it? Sorry about my beebly bottles.
And 50 minus 6 is 44.
44.
Right, so... And just to check this, what you can do is you can say, right, this one we know is 6. If you turn your tape measure around and go the other end, what is it there?
6.
Exactly, because 50 minus 4 is... 50 minus 6 is 44. Well done, 44. So in the middle now, we have a distance of 38. So what we need to do, we need to make sure that we mount them in the middle, or in between that. So we have to divide 38 by 3.
38 by 3.
So what we do is we'll take the 30, we'll divide that by 3 first, that's 10. And then 8 divided by 3, or 6 divided by 3 is 2. So that makes it 12. And we've got another 2. So if we make them, let's say 1 at 13 here. Oh, you can do this. Come on, 1 at 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's see how it looks. And we'll turn this round and let's do another one, 13 from that end.
13.
Perfectly. And that in the middle should be close to 13. Yeah, it's 12. That's good enough, isn't it? So now we know where we're going to screw our toys. Now, this is the fun bit, Millie. What have we got to do now with your toys?
Screw them on.
But before we can't just put a screw in there, can we? Because what will happen if we put a screw into the toy?
It's just going to fall off.
It'll split, won't it? This is the trouble with plastic. You kind of need to drill it out. Because if you do run a screw, you're just going to end up going, oh, I've got 2 halves of a unicorn. And that's not going to be fun, is it? So we're going to need to drill holes in them to screw them to the board. Now, some of these toys have got screws and stuff in the back of them. So you need to make sure that when you drill a hole in it with your parents, that you make sure that you avoid the screw heads, because you don't want it to damage the toy or for it to fall apart. And I think all of these toys, except for your ugly dolls, that's an easy one. There's no screws or bolts, so that's easy. So this one we can drill a hole and screw it down.
Well, this one has 2 screws.
Bob, who's going blowing a raspberry, he's got 2 screws. He's got one in the back of his head, somewhere near his brain, and he's got one in his
butt cheek.
Yes, he's got one in his bottom. So we're going to have to make sure we screw a hole, drill a hole that avoids those, haven't we? And what about Rob?
Rob has 1,
He has quite a lot of screws,
2,
doesn't he?
3, 4, 5, 6. He has 6.
He has 6 screws in there because he's got electronics in him. Now, if there's electronics in here, like this one, batteries, you have to be very careful. You're not going to drill a hole through those pieces.
Because if you want it to be cool, it can speak to you. So you can say, can I put my coat hanger there?
Mm-hmm.
If you drill a hole there and no one notices, they'll say, can I?
Can you what, darling? The thing is, you need to make sure that you don't hit the electronics, don't you? Because if you hit the electronics, it's not going to work anymore. And that'll be a bit of a shame, because it'd be quite funny to hang your cap up, or your school bag, or your bag with your homework, and you go, that'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? So, we're going to have a look and see how we can drill a hole through it. Now, I think in the back I can see a speaker, so in the body we're going to avoid that. And in the head, I can see a switch and a battery compartment. So I think that if we go through his neck, the only thing going to be going down there are a couple of wires, and it's unlikely we're going to hit a wire with our drill. So should we give it a go? So when we're drilling our hole, as we said before, we take an old piece of wood so we miss the table, because we don't want to drill a hole through our table, do we? We love our table. And if we drill a hole through our table, who do you think is going to have a go at me? Mummy will be very upset, and I wouldn't blame her either. We don't want to put holes in our table.
She would go.
Not quite as bad as that, but she'd be upset, and I'd be upset if somebody drilled a hole in my table. So what we're going to try and do is drill a hole now through his neck. So now you remember how to hold a drill? Up you get. That's it.
Now, guys, you can't see me anymore.
She's up in the clouds, aren't you, Millie? Millie, where are you?
I'm down here.
Okay.
You just can't see me when I go up.
Right, okay, let's drill a hole. Let's get this done, or these guys are going to get bored. Okay, you ready? No, push too hard. Okay. Did you? Shall we check and see if it still works? Let's get down so everyone can see you. And here, let's see if it works. Talk to it.
Hello.
Oh,
works. That was lucky.
Okay, so should we get some screws? Stop it! Shush! Now this is the problem, it's going to be going off all the time now. Don't argue! Now we're going to need some screws. I'm going to turn this thing off. It's going to get on my nerves. So we've got a selection of screws here. Now some are going to need longer screws than others because they're different thicknesses. And Bob is very fat, so we need to put quite a big
Very
screw through.
fat.
So
Did you hear that, children?
it's a
Daddy
bit chunky.
Daddy said that he's super fat.
He's a bit chunky, isn't he? It's fair to say he's a bit chunky.
Chunky means fat. Got it, kids?
No, we don't say he's fat. That's not a good thing to say, is it really? That's not a nice thing to say he's fat. Open up his hole a little bit bigger. Okay.
Make sure you don't.
Like this. And we're going to put a screw through his neck. He's going to look like Frankenstein, isn't he?
What's Frankenstein?
Oh, you'll learn all about Frankenstein one day.
Make sure you don't go through the wire. Stop.
I know what I'm doing, it's okay. We just need to open up that hole a little bit to make that screw fit through. So let's see if that screw goes through now, shall we? Now, I think it might go through now, Millie. Now, the thing is, he's starting to come out the other side, see?
Yeah.
So this is what we've done to our poor little robot. We've drilled a hole through his neck and we put a screw, so it's going through the front and it's coming out the back.
Like,
Maybe we should call him Frankenrobot.
what's Frankenrobot?
Exactly. It could be a new thing. So instead of Frankenstein, we could do Frankenrobot. Now, shall we put Rob the Robot at the end or in one of those two in the middle of the board? Where do you think? It's up to you. Choose wherever you like. You're going to put him up that end. Okay, so let's try and screw him up there. Now, when we come to put the screw in, like this, if we screw him straight to the board, there's not much space behind his head to get anything on, like a hoop of a bag. So we need to space it away from the board a little bit like this in order to make like a hook. Yeah? So, we can do this by either making something up out of wood, which is quite time consuming, or we can put what they call a washer.
A washer, yeah. Let's put a washer.
Now we've got a selection of different washers, not different waffers, different washers.
Not different waffles.
And that's very
Well,
bizarre. So we can
Not
use these. Now,
waffles.
the different thickness of washer will give you a better angle, okay? So we need to find one here that we can use. So I think
This one.
I think this one looks pretty good.
How about this one?
Let's have a look at that one. Okay, you want to choose that one?
Yeah, let's choose this one.
Okay, you change your mind again. Okay, so we need to put
I mean,
that in
let's
there.
use it.
Let's find, we're going to speed things up, we're going to use a driver. A driver is like an electric drill, but with a driver, you don't use it for drilling holes, do you? You only use it for driving screws in, and that's why it's called a
Driver!
Okay. So we've got the correct piece in there now. That will fit in there. Look. Watch this then. Okay, now we're going to try and screw Rob the Robot on. We need to push this screw through a little bit further.
Make sure he doesn't get drunk,
We definitely don't want that.
so it doesn't go through his mind.
Okay, so we're going to put this here like that.
And
So
make
we
sure...
need to be a little more gentle with the driver now, okay? Because we're going to just slowly.
I'm scared.
Okay.
Did you know?
Okay, now the thing is that screw's not going in. It's not long enough, Millie. Oh, that's not good, is it?
And did you know that, remember, don't put it here, otherwise he's gonna piece screws.
That's terrible. So we're going to have to come back. We're going to have to go and find another screw that's longer, because that one I think is too long.
Yeah, that's
That
too
looks
long.
quite huge on us. That's actually going to come out the other side of the board.
But this...
So I need to find. That's a nail. We can't use nails, can we?
No.
You'll definitely break the plastic. Okay. What we're going to do now then, we'll come back to that one in a minute and we'll find a longer screw. Shall we do another one of these? Yeah, so everyone can see. All these brass screws fit. Yes, they'll go through there. So where should we drill a hole? Should we drill a hole through a tummy button?
The tummy bottom.
We don't want to drill a hole through a bottom or her neck, do you? But we've got a screw here, guys, so we've got to be careful. So we can choose either above. I think that looks a bit terrible. I think the tummy button would be better, don't you?
Tummy button. No, I think above.
Yeah, you just drop the screw. Never mind, we'll find another one.
It's okay. I've got it.
So in order to put this in, we need to drill a hole in here. We're going to put it roughly where her tummy button is.
Tummy button.
Look, we need to come through there, Millie. So it comes through from the top, okay, and then come. How can I show people when you've got those things? We're going to drill a hole enough through here and come out the back here. So we're going to take our slave piece of wood, and drill a hole. Are you going to do this, Millie, or are you just going to sit and laugh? What are you going to do? It's up to you. Let me start the hole off.
Bye bye.
Let me start the hole off, because we need to make sure we've got this in the middle. Now, anything can happen now, because we've never done these toys before. It might fall apart, hopefully it won't. So now she's got a little belly button here.
Shall we?
Now we need to drill a hole to go right the way through, okay?
Yeah.
So let's try. And there we have. Oh no! Sit down.
Belly button.
Sit
and
down
where
to show
she
the kids.
farts.
The kids can't see when you do it. Don't say that word, please. And now she's got a hole right the way through her. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try to screw this one on quickly, and then we will have some fun and get back to you in a little bit. Now, so we need to put that washer down here on that pencil mark, okay? And here, that doesn't look good. We can't have that, can we? No, we can't have a towel coming out between her legs. That looks a bit wrong. We'll have to come out to the side like that, okay? Now we're going to put that like this. Here we go. Now Millie's going to drive this screw in.
Bye bye, everybody.
Millie's going up to space quickly. Let's pop that in there. Okay, and slowly. That was extremely quick, but that's good. She's not going anywhere. She's now screwed on there very, very well, guys. So what we're going to do is there.
Hey again.
We have one on there. We're going to come back in a minute, and hopefully we'll have all the other pieces on there. Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
See you in a flash. Oh, do you want to do a little bit of
Whoa.
Wood Wizard's magic quickly?
Yes.
Go on then, let's see.
Ready, set. Abracadabra, bobbity boo. Let us disappear.
That worked. They're all on there except for the robot. So we'll do this one together, shall we? With the guys.
This one is ready. This one, ready. This one.
Cool. Now the robot we're going to put on there, and we're going to put some washers behind his head to space him off. And I found a slightly longer screw, so now it should hold. So first we've got to sit there and put it through his neck. Not the most comfortable place to put a screw, is it? It can be Frankenbot. That's quite a cool name. Frankenbot.
Or maybe Frankenstyle.
Frankenstyle. That's another one. So we're going to screw this one. Do you want to use a screwdriver?
Bye,
Millie?
everybody.
Shall we get your screwdriver? And you can sit back down, because nobody can see you when you're standing up, can they? So here we've got our screwdriver.
Well, I can't do anything. Abracadabra. Look, it's still not running. So it's not magical.
Okay, so pop the screwdriver in the screw. That's it.
I'm going, let's do this or righty-tighty?
Well, what do you think? You just hold it so.
Righty-tighty.
Righty-tighty, that's correct. When using a screwdriver. Or doing up jam jar lids or anything else. Easy way to remember if you're going to undo something or do something up. What's the rule, Millie, we use?
Lefty loosey, which we have,
Yeah.
and righty-tighty.
So turn it right, or if you're looking from there, it's that way. Righty-tighty and lefty-loosey.
We have Lucy. Lucy is our pet dog.
Yeah, she is. Okay, I think you've done it. Well, okay, so I'll try a little bit more.
Yeah.
Make sure we don't spill. Oh, that feels good, doesn't it? So now, shall we see if the magic works?
Yes.
We don't need your one for this one. Let's turn Rob on. And now this This is now going to be screwed to the wall. Now we've got a couple of ways of screwing it to the wall. We can drill some holes and it can be screwed to the wall like this, or you can go onto the back of the board and put a couple of, thank you very much, and we could put a couple of we could put a couple of hangers on there and hang it on a couple of screws. But really you need to have two on there, otherwise it's going to, he's not going to shut up, is it? It's going to rock up and down. Thank you very much. So Millie, do you want to try it out with your cap and see if it works? Let's see.
I'm gonna put it on there. Or on this.
There. So you can use it as, it's great, you can use all of them, and it can be for your hats, your school bags, your jackets, coats, anything really, can't you? So that's our simple that's our simple toy board which we're going to use, and we're going to hang up in your bedroom.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're probably going to turn Rob the robot off, because you don't really want that going off first thing in the morning.
Daddy.
And I've got to go and sort Millie out. So until next time, guys, stay safe, have fun, make up whatever you can, have a giggle.
Stay wood wizarding.
Stay wood wizard. Stay wood wizardy indeed.
Stop it. Get up.
We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Wood. Okay,
Which
guys.
is our dog movie.
Let's say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.